Pro-Beijing candidates have staged a near clean sweep in Hong Kong's Legislative Council election. But the patriots-only poll has also been marked by a record low in voter turnout, just 30%. Leader Carrie Lam has already defended Sunday's election as democracy in action with Hong Kong characteristics. Roland Lim reports.
Hours after the city completed its first general poll since an electoral overhaul, Beijing issued a white paper stating that there was no one-size-fits-all democratic model, and that Hong Kong's model had to comply with the Chinese constitution and actual situations. Chief Executive Carrie Lam promised to cooperate with the new lawmakers and asked for the public to be patient for the new lawmakers to prove themselves.
I would expect that working with these 90 candidates would continue to be very exciting because they also have very different opinions on many of the social issues that the government has to face. In monitoring the government's performance, in providing the checks and balances needed.
In the closely watched geographical constituencies where 20 of the 90 seats were put to the popular vote, the pro-establishment DAB party was the biggest winner of the day, with its candidates winning in each of the 10 constituencies. Party chairwoman Carrie Lam also dismissed fears that since independents or centrists candidates failed to secure any seats, that there won't be enough diverse voices in LegCo.
I think the around 30% turnout rate is within the general public expectation. As I've mentioned before, this is a new system. This is a system we call patriot administrating Hong Kong. Right? This is different from the previous one. Therefore, you cannot compare directly. And I believe that with the new system, people need time to get used to that. Therefore, the 30% turnout rate, I would say, it is within my expectation.
Although DAB won seats in every geographical constituency, their influence has changed little given the overall reduction in the number of directly elected seats. The biggest political bloc in the new LegCo is the election committee constituencies, 40 seats made up of pro-Beijing stalwarts who also nominate and vote for the chief executive. Political analysts say that Beijing didn't pin their hopes for a high turnout, but rather for an efficient, smooth and trouble-free election. The government here did their part, urging voters to come out to vote. Non-establishment candidates cited apathy among pro-democracy voters, and that meant that they shunned this particular election. Chairman of the centrist party Third Side, Teck Chee-yuen, was the only non-establishment candidate who secured a win in the trade-based functional constituency. He said he'll be doing his best to monitor the government and to fight for universal suffrage, even if that means going it alone against 89 others in LegCo.
Many voters support me because I'm asking for the democracy development in Hong Kong. Another thing, we are more concerned about the grassroots level daily livelihood. And then because I'm a social welfare sector, there's a lot of problems in our social welfare, especially the funding model.
Some political watchers worry that the new Legislative Council will be too close to the government, which will lead to inadequate monitoring and see a rise in corruption. Recently, there were reports of 2 senior government officials allegedly receiving luxury gift hampers from developer China Evergrande. Roland Lim, CNA, Hong Kong.
At the same time, China has published a white paper on developing what it sees as Hong Kong-style democracy. This is the second such paper to be released in 7 years. The paper says the Hong Kong government is organized on the basis of democratic principles and that the national security law imposed last year helped create favorable conditions. The paper says Hong Kong is entering a new stage of restored order after the introduction of the national security law and the changes to the electoral system. It says the governance by patriots will be strengthened by these changes, and the rule of law and business environment will continue to improve. Hong Kong Chief Executive Carrie Lam says the white paper is a review of facts based on history. She says she expects criticism and certain claims about the Legislative Council election from foreign politicians and Western media.
The best way to refute those allegations is to look back at history. That's why this white paper has given a full account of the development of democracy in Hong Kong before 1997 and after 1997. Because I think facts are much, much powerful than just imagination or allegations.